Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well today. So today is a very important day, and that is National Voter Registration Day. So there's no better day to check your registration, update your address if necessary, and if you haven't registered before, make sure that you do so. And I will provide a link to vote.org in the description box, which is a one-stop shop for anyone in the US to check their registration in the state that they currently live in. So we have less than 45 days. I think it's actually 42 days from today, National Voter Registration Day. And I think it's crucial that every citizen exercise their right to vote. There are so many people who have died and fought for your right to vote, so please don't waste it. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, that's entirely your choice. But as a lawyer who has worked in voting rights in the past, I just think is one of the most important things that you can do. And it's so easy. You can vote by mail in some states, you can vote early in person, you can apply for an absentee ballot. Of course, that all varies by state, but please don't waste any time, especially if you need to register or if you need to request an absentee ballot. Make sure to know where your polling place is, how to get there if you're going to vote in person. In short, have a plan to vote. We really do need to take this seriously as a country. All right, so today's video is actually going to be a recreation of the video that AOC, Anastasia Ocasio-Cortez, a congresswoman from New York, that she filmed for Vogue, and they uploaded on the Vogue YouTube channel. So I find her inspiring, which is a little odd because I think she's, how old is she exactly? I think she's maybe 5 years younger than I am, which is not to say that. Okay, yeah, so she's about 5 years younger than I am. Of course, people younger than you can be inspirations as well, but generally I feel like we look up to people who are older than we are, our mentors. But I find her very inspiring, very well-spoken, eloquent. I'm not going to discuss her politics in this video. Whether you agree or disagree with her politics is one matter, but I think we can all admire her for being a young woman of color representing her district in the US Congress. So, not talking about her politics, and I'm also not going to get into some of the things that she says in the video. I'm basically just looking at the makeup. I do encourage you to watch the original video to hear the full thing, but I'm just going to be focusing on the makeup in this video. I also did my best to acquire, if necessary. I had some of the products that she used already, but I did go out and get a few new products to, I guess, recreate as best I could her makeup look. There were some things I just decided I wouldn't use in the long term, so it did make sense to me to purchase those. But anyway, this is not a reacts video as such. I might say what I would do differently just to suit my own tastes and preferences along the way, but that's not going to be a criticism of her. I think, you know, her makeup look at the end is beautiful. It's obviously working for her, but we all have different preferences and different ways that we like to do our makeup. So she starts off, I have my earbud in so I can listen along and then not have to worry about the audio. But so she starts off with skincare, and that was definitely one area where I just use my existing products that I like to use. Some of them are very similar, but I do have my own products that I will show you. I also will link the products I think she uses in the video down below in case you want to look into them, both the skincare and the makeup. But again, I didn't want to buy products that might not work for my skin. I'm not sure what her skin type is, just for the sake of one video. So she uses a toner from Estee Lauder. I use the Paula's Choice Resist Advanced Replenishing Toner. This is one of my all-time favorite toners. It's a very like watery, kind of milky consistency. And again, I already applied, oh, she's going too fast for me. I already applied all my skincare after I got out of the shower because I don't like to leave my skin naked for too long. I like to, you know, go in with the moisture. I have very dry skin, so something to take into account. And then she used a vitamin C serum, which I'm not sure which one she used. There's been some speculation. One or two products I thought could be just based on the dropper. I think there's a Dermalogica Bio Lumen C vitamin C serum, and then a Strivectin Super C. So it could be either of those, it could be neither. I use the Drunk Elephant C Firma Day Serum. This works well for me. And I also find it to be quite moisturizing, so I actually skipped my moisturizer, which hopefully wasn't a bad idea. She uses an Acure moisturizer. Normally I use, sometimes I use the Drunk Elephant Protini Polypeptide Cream, which is a more gel-based moisturizer. I recently ran out of that, so this is what I've been using lately, and based on the Acure product that she's using, it sounds like this could be kind of similar. This is in a jar, obviously. The one that she uses is in a tube, so I'm not sure you know, how they compare. I haven't tried that product, but this is a very nice, hydrating, good for sensitive skin moisturizer. It is kind of expensive, so if you can find it on sale or in a deal somehow, it's a good time to pick it up. I think the next product, she's still rubbing in the moisturizer, is an SPF, and I think she uses one from Biore, if I recall. Yeah, it's a Biore, which I think is like an Asian product, and obviously I don't have that concern of a white cast, and I prefer a purely mineral-based sunscreen. I'm not sure if Biore is chemical or mineral, but the one I have been using and enjoying is the Clinique Broad Spectrum SPF 30, a mineral sunscreen fluid for face. This seems to be lingering in the Ulta sales section, so if you have dry skin, I feel like this is a really good one. Again, I already applied this, and I have to pause her because she's talking in my ear and it's distracting me. This is a good one if you have dry skin, and also I think in the winter months. Sometimes if I go in, especially like with the Kate Somerville, which is quite hydrating during the day, and then put this on top, it can take a while for that to kind of sink in. So if you do have normal oily skin, I don't know if this would be a good option for you, but if you have dry skin, I do like that one. For a more, I guess, summer appropriate, but it's the first day of fall or the second day. For a more summer appropriate one, I like the, is it Elta MD? It's, I think, SPF of like 47 or something, and it doesn't have as much moisture to it, so it's a little bit more mattifying, I think. She didn't use an eye cream. I don't know if she uses one at night. I used the Drunk Elephant, here it is, C Tango Multivitamin Eye Cream. So that is what I use today. I like the Algenist Eye Renewal Balm, but if I'm going in with SPF and vitamin C during the day, I tend to gravitate towards this one, partly just to extend the life of my Algenist for nighttime. So that is what I used. So she's showing a Sephora case, her makeup case. I think it's the Pack It All Organizer. So I will link that down below. I didn't think it was necessary for me to purchase that. She talks about two different base products. One is the Estee Lauder Double Wear, which I don't think I've ever tried, partly just because it just doesn't seem like it would be well suited to my dry skin, and I don't really like a very full coverage matte base anyway. So I did purchase the Nars Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer SPF 30. This does have a chemical sunscreen and a mineral sunscreen. It has octinoxate 7.4% and titanium dioxide 6.1%. I would prefer if it didn't have a chemical sunscreen, but I think octinoxate is one that I can tolerate. And I got the shade Light Zero Terre Neuve, I think is how you say it. I think her shade is Saint Moritz, which is medium 1. If you are curious, if you think you're around her skin tone. I've kind of been reluctant to try this in the past because I feel like NARS products can skew a little yellow, and I am very like neutral to cool, I think. Yeah, she's saying how she uses the Double Wear when she feels like she's going to be photographed, and this is more of the day-to-day. I think she's using a brush for the initial application. She squirts some on the back of her hand. And I will provide some other good shade matches for me in the description box below if you think you are close to my coloring. I think this could be okay. We'll see. Does she? Okay, so I'm already doing something kind of what I'm used to doing, but she's not. She is just taking, I think, the brush. Like, I usually dot it around my face. All right, I'm gonna use this Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. Like I said, I think she's using an Eco Tools. I was kind of surprised to see her use a brush, actually, because Tinted Moisturizer is one of those products where I think they're kind of designed to be applied with your hands. And this is pretty light coverage, really. Might have a slight set, but nothing terrible. So I don't think this is a terrible shade, actually, for me. Maybe slightly more yellow, but because it's a tinted moisturizer, you can get away with a shade that's maybe not your best match. Sort of blend. All right, take a look in the mirror here. So I like the finish on that. It's very light, it's very skin-like. Again, I don't think it's the best shade match I've ever had, but I think it's something I can work with. I think once I get maybe some concealer and other colors on my face, it'll look a little better. So she goes in with what looks to be a beauty blender or equivalent. I don't feel like I really need this. I feel like the brush didn't kind of leave streaks, but it's always good to make sure that something is well blended. Okay, so the next thing that she's using is the Becca Under Eye Corrector. I think this might be like a little sample size that I got, I don't know, a while ago. And I typically apply my corrector before foundation and then my concealer after foundation. I don't know why, I just do. One is not, you know, a better option. It's just, you know, like I said, everyone has different preferences. I'm just tapping that in with my ring finger. Lately, I've been enjoying the Charlotte Tilbury corrector, which looks like that. I think, I'll just get a little swatch. The Becca one's a little bit pinkier, peachier, I think. That one's a little bit, like the Charlotte Tilbury is a little bit kind of yellowy, is that a word? More yellow, orangey. Oh, and I missed a step here. So it looks like she uses some of that corrector around her nose. I don't know that I need any of this, but... Alright, so what she uses for concealer, I believe, is the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, which would make sense if she uses their tinted moisturizer. You know, she might look to the same brand for her other complexion products. So I have two shades. I have Light 2 Vanilla, which I think was the first shade I ever got. And then the other one is Light 1.25 Affogato. So quite a difference. Do I want to go light? I guess, so I'm not sure what shade she uses, but it does look like it's a bit lighter for her. Like whatever shade she uses looks a bit lighter. So I'm gonna go with the Affogato shade. And she kind of uses this as like a highlighting cream product as well. She applies a fairly generous amount, kind of focusing on the inner bit here. Like so, and then she uses her fingers to blend. Looks like she also goes down the nose, a bit on the upper lip, and a bit on the chin. So, blend that. She uses both hands at once, but I have to hold my mirror. I don't think she uses a powder, which I found kind of surprising. I typically will set my under eyes depending on the concealer I use to prevent creasing. Looks like she's going in with a little bit more. I feel like that looks pretty good though. So she uses a contour stick. This is the Fenty Matchstick in Amber. It could be the same, I'm not sure. I think this is their only, I don't know if this is their only dedicated contour stick, but she, I think, okay, so yeah, she goes underneath cheekbones. I think she goes like all around her hairline. I might just kind of do that bit because I don't have a lot of, I don't know, maybe she doesn't either. And then I think she does all the way down the nose. I usually just, I don't know, I focus on the bottom part of my nose really. I think she does the tip, yeah. And then she does, I'm not sure exactly what kind of, all right, and then it looks like she uses the same Eco Tools brush that she blended her tinted moisturizer in with. And one thing I hadn't heard before, she said you should blend your contour up on your cheeks to kind of keep your face lifted, which I think is a good tip. I don't think she's probably the first person to ever say that, but I don't think I'd heard it before. So I like her makeup routine because I feel like it's accessible. It's not anything crazy, but I think it shows that she enjoys makeup like I do. And, you know, there's some thought behind what she uses. Does anyone else find their allergies are really acting up? So if my nose appears red, that's why. All right, so she uses the Anastasia Brow Wiz, which I have one that's a little old, to be honest. So this is in the shade Taupe, and then I also got a sample in the same shade from Sephora, a deluxe sample, not too long ago, because I wasn't sure if this was maybe a little bit. So the sample does have a spoolie, that's nice. So I'm just going to kind of swatch both of them on the back of my hand to see if one, I mean, I don't think there's really that much of a difference, to be honest. Okay, I'm just gonna go in with the full-size version that I have. Brush up those brows. And I don't typically use a brow pencil. I typically use just a gel, either tinted or clear. So she starts by brushing up her brow hairs, and then, you know, she doesn't need a lot of help in the brow department, but I think she's just kind of filling them in. So it looks like she starts kind of on the tail. And then kind of fills in. Okay, so I'm not going to do a lot. I'm just going to resist the temptation to use a brow gel. Okay. I feel like I have longer brow hairs. They're not as dense maybe, but they look full because, I mean, I trim them from time to time, but that's just the way they are. Okay. So the next product she uses is one where I'm using a substitute. Okay, so she's using an Anastasia Glow Kit. I think hers is in Sun Dipped. I don't have that one, so I didn't want to go out and buy it, but I already had the Gleam kit. I don't know if this is one they still make or not. I'm just curious which shade she uses. Did I miss a step? Okay, so I did miss blush, which I thought was a little odd to apply highlighter before blush, and looks like I just missed that step. All right, so she uses a Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Dusk. I don't have the full size, but I do have a sample. Okay, so it's this more peachier shade up here. Okay, so it looks like she just kind of like swipes on a bit on either cheek. So I think just blends it. It's a pretty color. I do like that color. I wasn't sure how it would look on me. I feel like this is also a color that, I mean, obviously she's a darker skin tone, so this, I guess, works for her. Some of these you have to be quite careful with because, you know, you don't want to go too heavy-handed. Is she going, oh, maybe I just skipped the blush and she did the brows after. Okay. It's hard when you're starting and stopping. Okay, now she's going in with the Glow Kit. Can't tell what shade she's using, but she is just kind of like sweeping it across her entire cheek instead of focusing on the cheekbone. Oh, what shade should we use? I might do Starburst, which is a bit more peachy. I like Crushed Pearl. It's more of an icy white, but I feel like with this base and the blush, that might just be too much. So swatching Hard Candy and Mimosa. You tell the one on the top is Mimosa, which would be gorgeous on maybe someone of her skin tone or darker. This one maybe I could make work, but I think these two are best for my complexion. So I'm gonna go in with Starburst on this fan brush and just kind of lightly sweep it across. So I guess it's really more of a blush topper when you're using it like this. So in that way, I guess I could maybe use the Hard Candy. So this was just Starburst. I'm going with a little bit of Hard Candy. So I think that's pretty, I mean, we're so used to getting that like really like blinding highlight, but it's, I guess, good to be reminded that not everything has to appear that way. All right, so now she is going in with a palette from Tarte, and this is the Flirt palette. I think the only place I saw it in stock on the Tarte website anyway was in this little kit that comes with a dual-sided eyeliner. So this is the All Eyes on You little kit. So we'll link this below. And the liner that came out, it's a gel, I think, on one side and a, is it felt tip or brush tipped? I think it's a felt liner on the other. All right, so the palette is also in a little box. And that is what she looks like. So one place where I am going to deviate according to my own preference is I'm going to use an eye primer. She doesn't use one, which is perfectly fine. It's not nothing in makeup is necessary or required, but I just find that any eyeshadow will basically crease on me if I don't have a primer or some kind of base. So to, I guess, give the shadows the best chance, I will go ahead and apply it. And I am using the Fenty eye primer, which I have been enjoying. So this is the palette, and it has a tiny little mirror. I guess I didn't check to make sure that the shadows were intact before this. So let's see. The first thing she does is she goes in, which is something that I usually do. All right, she goes in with a paddle-shaped brush, kind of like this. This is my Inglot 28PO. And I'm going to go into, this way of holding these. She, I think, is going into the matte cream shade called Gaze. And I think she applies that kind of all over, which is usually how I start out a look, just to give it a nice base to blend on. Make sure that primer is set. They do have that tart kind of vanilla scent to them, which I'm not a huge fan of scented makeup, but there you have it. All right, and then it looks like she's taking a kind of your standard MAC 217 type shape, this like pinched, domed kind of blending shape. This one is the Rephr 01 brush. And she is using, I think, one of the matte brown shades. So there's 3 to choose from. There's a, I guess, medium tone warmer one called Hotline. There's a more neutral one called Playful, and then a darker one called Snuggle. I'm not sure which one she is using. I think I might use Playful, just a little bit more cooler toned. Typically, I would do my crease with this MAC 286. It's a duo fiber tapered brush. So she's not being too precious about it. She's kind of doing some circular. These shadows are quite pigmented, actually. So obviously these colors are going to be a little bit more dramatic on me just because of my skin tone than they would be on her. I think she goes back in with that other brush then and kind of back into that Gaze shade. So just doing a little bit over top. Okay, so just doing a little bit over top to kind of make sure that's nicely blended. Okay, so put that to the side for now, and going in with the eyeliner. She is using the Almay Top of the Line, and I think I got the shade Black Brown. I'm not sure if that's exactly the shade she used. So she kind of pulls on her inner eyelid. I try to avoid pulling on my eye just to avoid any, wrinkles or whatever. And she also does, I think, a little bit of a wing, which with a gel liner is, I think, a little bit easier than with a liquid, a little bit more foolproof. And it looks, I think she kind of went in pretty close to the inner corner. She might have started with the wing, actually, now that I'm looking at it again. So I can tell you, I might have to use my other mirror here. I'll attempt a little baby wing, but I'm not gonna make any promises. Like a micro wing. So I think this is definitely a drier pencil, I typically go for something a little bit creamier, and then I'll maybe go over it with a brush to kind of smudge it out just a tad. I don't think she does that. She keeps it a little bit more precise. And if you like a sharper line, you might like this type of pencil. In a way, it reminds me of, oops, like a traditional wood pencil in terms of the texture. Okay, that might be it for me on the eyeliner. It feels a little bit creamy, creamier on my hand. I don't know if it's because I'm like pushing it down a little bit harder or I'm warming it up. I don't know. I don't know if this would be my go-to drugstore liner. I think there's like some from Neutrogena, or what other drugstore ones have I tried? Like Pixie is a little bit higher end, but they make some good kind of creamier gel pencils if you are interested in something like that. All right, so it looks like then she curls her lashes. I have the Surratt eyelash curler. I'm guessing like it looks like she has kind of the traditional Maybelline one. I'm not positive though, but it just looks like that kind of basic metal one that you find at the drugstore, which is totally fine. You don't need to spend a lot of money on an eyelash curler. I was relieved that she did curl her lashes though, because I have quite straight lashes, so I find that it definitely helps. And then she also uses a waterproof mascara, which I was also relieved to see because I usually do as well, both to help it hold the curl, prevent flaking, smudging, all that good stuff. I got 2 shades of the one that she uses, the Maybelline Lash Lift. One is in Berry Black and one is in Brownish Black. I think I'm gonna maybe do the Berry Black. I'm guessing that would probably be the one she uses. I don't know if she has a similar problem with straight lashes, or she just wants something that's going to not budge. Give it another little curl there. All right, so this also has a natural bristle wand. This is brand new, so sometimes mascaras need a little bit of time to kind of dry out. I did see that the non-waterproof version of this won an Allure Best of Beauty award for this year, so. I think this is supposed to be, is it a lengthening mascara? Falsies Lash Lift. Dramatic length, volume, and lift. Okay. It doesn't seem like it's building on itself a lot. Okay, I don't hate it. I don't know if it's my new favorite. I think the Tarte Lights Camera Splashes or the Lancome Hypnostrama Waterproof are my favorites. Unfortunately, those are both higher end. Tarte, at least they have a lot of sales and everything, so. Or Nordstrom periodically does, I think it's a buy 2 get 1 free deal on mascaras, and they don't have to be the same mascara, so you can try a few. Okay, this eye seems to be clumping together a little bit, so I might have to go in with a lash comb. Okay. Curious how the non-waterproof version of this mascara works. Okay, that might be as good as we're gonna get. Okay, and then she uses it on her lower lashes. One thing, I think she's doing this after she applied her upper lashes. One thing I try to do is apply the lower lashes, the mascara first, because you can see the way I'm tilting my head down. If you apply mascara and then right away go like that, it could get up on your brow bone, especially if you have like more hooded eyes. I also typically use a separate mascara for my lower lashes, like the bottom lash mascara from Clinique, which I think those are generally tubing mascaras a lot of times, and it just has a very small, here I'll show you, very tiny little wand. You can see that, so it just makes it a little bit easier, but I think that did okay. Oh, I just, as I say that, I smudge. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. It also looked like she's doing more of a like a horizontal motion. I think I can't remember what I just said. I'll have to watch the video. Sometimes I kind of do it more with the edge of the brush so I don't like glob too much on. Okay, the next thing she does I thought was kind of interesting. I don't know if this was how she normally does it, or she forgot, or she just decided to do it later. She actually applies glitter with her finger after she's put on her mascara. And I don't even think the shades in this little palette are that glittery. Okay, my best guess for which shade she's using is Touch, which is that kind of burgundy. I will swatch both of these. Yeah, I don't think these are glittery. I think they're more just metallics, which, you know, I don't always wear my most foiled shadows to work or whatever. She was talking in the video about how you know, sometimes it's hard to be taken seriously and, you know, whatever, but if she wants to work glitter, she's gonna work glitter, I think is what she was saying. So I guess you can apply that to these kind of more foiled shades as well, but she's saying the fire, or the shimmer, it looks fire, it looks good. All right, rewatching that portion of the video, I think she might have been using Passion, maybe, which is a little bit more pinky in tone. I'm just gonna go over the inner third or so. I guess some of the inner corner. Okay, I'll just leave it there. All right, the next thing she uses is bronzer. And I didn't buy the same bronzer that she uses because I just didn't want to pay like department store makeup prices for something I didn't think I needed or like wanted. All right, so she uses the Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess bronzer. I have the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer in the shade 2. This might be another Eco Tools brush that she's using. I'm gonna use the Rephr number 22. Okay, so it looks like she's kind of focusing on the cheeks and the forehead. So okay. I think it's time for the lip. So she uses Stila Stay All Day liquid lipstick in the shade Besso. And she talks about how she likes this because it stays all day and she doesn't have time to touch up her lipstick all day. Which totally makes sense. So this is one thing which normally I would use a lip liner. So I'm a bit nervous about not using one. I think I might just go ahead and use one. To be honest, I was gonna attempt it, but I don't want to take it off and smear it all over my face. So let's see, I'm just gonna take a drugstore liner. This is the Wet n Wild Red the Scene gel liner. And these are fairly creamy. Okay, so now the lipstick. And she says that she starts kind of in the center and works outwards. The main reason I like using a lip liner on a red lip is that I don't have to worry about getting all the way to the edge with something that may be a little less precise than a pencil. All right, and then if necessary, go back in with what I just had in my hand. Here we go. Just to clean up any uneven edges. I feel like this is actually a pretty good color match. All right, so I think that's it. Like I said, I do encourage you to go back and watch the video so you can hear her full perspective on being a woman, politics, and beauty and all that. I think it is definitely worth watching, but this was just recreating her look. So there we have it. So I guess just commenting a little bit, like I think I said throughout, some products I already had, I was already using or had used in the past. This is like a traditional liquid lipstick formula, so I did make sure to moisturize my lips really well with the Laneige lip sleeping mask beforehand. If you definitely need a lipstick that's going to, like it says, stay all day, then maybe it's one to look into. I think they usually do a lot of like little kits, Stila, during the holidays. If not, I think Sephora has a liquid lipstick formula that's pretty good, and they, I think, do some little sets as well. I guess I'll just give my kind of general thoughts. The Tinted Moisturizer has a nice finish. Like I said, I don't think it's the best shade match, but now that I have the rest of the face on, I think it works okay. I would probably go in with a brow gel just to kind of make sure those hairs are locked in place. That's just my preference. The concealer isn't creasing too badly, which maybe I should just not powder. Sometimes I feel like it's a, what do you call it, like a safety net, like I'm worrying about it creasing, but then you could, you know, end up with kind of more cakey under eyes, and it looks like it's doing okay. I didn't love the mascara, which is totally fine. I think it's a good mascara. It's just, maybe I just need to have it open a little bit and kind of play around with it some more. Let's see. I love the Glossier Cloud Paint. I thought that was a great shade. I've tried the Glossier Cloud Paint formula before, but not that shade. The eyeshadow, I don't love the scent of it, but that's fine. I think this color on my eyes really makes my blue eyes pop, which I really like. I don't think I would probably pair this eyeshadow with this lip. And I wouldn't wear a red lip to work. That's just not my preference. And I probably wouldn't wear something this heavy on the eyes either. Like I said, I think she maybe went in with the lighter shimmer, so maybe it didn't look as dramatic on her. And of course, you can go in a little bit deeper with deeper skin tones because it's just harder to make the makeup show up. Already used the contour stick and enjoyed that. Anything else I need to talk about? Not a huge fan of the eyeliner. Yeah, the highlighter was an interesting technique. I think I would probably still use a highlighter on the high points and then maybe go in with a more reflective blush if I wanted that look. I think that's it, really. Oh, the under eye corrector is a good one. I should probably get a new one of that one, actually, because I think this is getting a bit old. But I have other correctors I've been using and enjoying. So I think that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Let me know what you think down below. Leave a little flag icon or emoji if you have registered to vote or if you've checked your registration, so everyone can give you a round of applause. And last but not least, let's make sure this lipstick is set first. So the good thing about a liquid lipstick is that it should be fairly mask proof, so make sure to wear your mask and vote. All right, peace out, guys.